2. Welcome to Muskingum, where the 9-0 Marietta Pioneers come in 8th ranked in the country. Taking on the 4-4 Fighting Muskies. Mike Hurd and Michael Pagano here for the 168th meeting between these two programs. And you got to love the beginning of OAC play right now. You're kind of in that pre-Christmas thing, and you want to get things going here.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for both teams. I mean, obviously it's coming up on Christmas. You're going to want to be home to see your families, but this is an important game. I mean, the Fighting Muskies are sitting at 4-4 overall, sitting at 1-3 in the OAC, and they're going to be looking to try and get a big win over one of the best teams in the country tonight.
Tell you about the starting lineups here in just a few after the national anthem. Back here tonight as we get ready to take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. Again, Marietta coming in as the visitor at 9-0 on the year, 4-0 in the OAC. It's been a big handful of years for them, 171 wins over the last 8, and really they've had that stranglehold, Mike, on the OAC the last 4 years, winning not only the conference, going to the tournament, but also winning the OAC tournament. And a lot of teams would like to put a stop to that this season.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about how they've had a stranglehold. They really have. You look at it, the last 3 seasons, with the the last 4 seasons, 3 of the last 4 seasons, they've made it to the NCAA tournament. In 2014, 2015, they made it to the Elite 8 in the national tournament, and then in 2016, 2017, they made it to the Sweet 16. And they have a great coach in John Vanderwall, and he's really been leading this team to not only the top of the OAC, but one of the best teams in the country. I mean, they're sitting at number 8 in the country right now, and they're looking to try and dominate this game tonight.
And it's an offense, too, that if you haven't seen Marietta play, they can get buckets in bunches, 91.1 points per game. They don't turn over the ball a lot under Coach Vanderwall, the D3 National Coach of the Year a couple of years ago. His starting lineup, he'll put Mel Schuller in at the backcourt. 10th start this year out of Columbus's Tree of Life Christian, just under 5 points a game. Also joining him at 7 double-figure games for Anthony Wallace. He'll be making his 4th start of the year, the 6'2" senior out of Wheeling, West Virginia. Lucas Isley, a freshman, making his 10th start out of the River High School Pilots program, where he was an All-Ohio pitcher as well. And in the backcourt, or in the front court now, you've got 2 big kids in Kyle Dixon at 6'3", 195 out of Poland and at Poland Seminary. And a young man I'm very familiar with, he's the bull for this team in Marietta, and Caleb Hoying making his 10th start out of Salina High School at 6'4", and obviously a big team to deal with for Muskingum as you look at their starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they are a tough team. especially the one problem with the Fighting Muskies right now is they're missing their best player. I mean, yeah, Marcus Dempsey, he's averaging around 25 points a game when he's in there, and yeah, 25.7 points per game, and he is, in my opinion, one of the best players in the country when he's out there, but he hurt his wrist, his hand a couple games ago, and he's out tonight, and he might be out for the rest of the season. So tonight's going to be all about Devon Pert, Jalen Page, and Mitch Clark. Those are going to be the three guys that the Muskies are going to be looking at to try and make a statement in this game tonight.
Jason Peoples and Tyler Vidal will get the start along with those two young men. And for Travis Schwab, it's still trying to figure things out. Kind of doesn't have the greatest record in the OAC at 18-40, but like you said, he's got to kind of find an identity without a scorer last year in Dempsey. 30 points a game, broke a litany of school records.
Yeah, I mean, he really has. And we talk about Marcus Dempsey being one of the best players in the country, and he is on pace for being the leading scorer in the history of the school.
Great back down for Mitch Clark, the sophomore, at 10.5 points per game. Again, important, establish that with him early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now back the opposite way. Not many times where Marietta has trailed in games this year. Talk about how they're 9-0 this in the 168th meeting between these two. They have won the last handful as Hoying lost the handle on the ball. Never really had anywhere to go. The defense just clamped down on him.
Yeah, great job there by Mitch Clark to make a play on D.
I like the story with Pert coming off 24 points against Outerbound. He's kind of one of those guys who, when I look at him, he can get going early. It could be a big start, but he misses the jumper.
Yeah, Pert's a guy that can really get into the paint and make some flashy layups, make some flashy plays.
Right as you say that, Anthony Wallace tried to do it on the other side. Just wasn't as successful as maybe his fans were looking for. This is the second of 8 OAC Game of the Weeks. Now the 3 from straight away. That would have been huge for Jalen Page, Mike, if that goes down.
Yeah, that's a guy that hasn't been much of a scorer over the last couple of years. He's been more of a facilitator, getting everybody else the ball. But now with Dempsey out, he's got to be a guy that got to get going on this offense.
And that's obviously a big story. Here's a 3 for the lead, no good. But again, you talk about so much, it's almost to harp on it, but missing your biggest piece, the school record holder in points, in a guy who really, if you just look at Dempsey, the number that jumped out for me was the fact that he took 32 field goals last year in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he really has.
We'll take a look as we get a chance here at our keys to the game. First for the visiting Pioneers.
Yeah, so for the Pioneers, they need to keep the good vibes going. I mean, they're 9-0 right now, 4-0 in the OAC, and you really just got to keep that going. I mean, keep dominating teams, keep playing really well, and then you have spread the ball around. Looking at their stats, they don't look like they have a really go-to scorer. I mean, you got Kyle Dixon. He's one of the best players on their team, but there's really no guy averaging over 15 points, even close to 15 points. And then my last one is take the fight to Muskingum. Muskingum's 4-4. They're missing their best player. This is a chance to really come into New Concord, Ohio, and just completely blow Muskingum out of the water.
And so far, they have definitely made Marietta, really, the defense for Muskingum has made Marietta uncomfortable.
And then for the Muskies, you have confidence without Dempsey. So we've been talking about Dempsey, talking about how he's the best player not only on the team for the Fighting Muskies, but also one of the best players in the conference when he's healthy. So you got to have confidence without him. You got to not be thinking, oh man, I wish we had Marcus Dempsey out there. You got to be like, all right, well, we don't have Marcus Dempsey, but we can still win games. So that means, like I mentioned earlier, Devon Pert, Mitch Clark, Jalen Page, those are the 3 guys. Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. If you're looking at the rebounds per game, Marietta has 41.8 rebounds per game. And then you're looking at the Fighting Muskies, they have around 35 rebounds per game. So if you're looking at it that way, that's something that the Fighting Muskies have to do a better job of, is getting rebounds and really controlling the inside. And then my last one is share the ball early and often. Devon Pert's the one guy, like I've been mentioning, that I think needs to get going early, but you can't rely on one guy. You've got to really be able to spread the ball around. Maybe get it to somebody like MJ Smith or a Jason Peoples, some guys that you might not be thinking of, like, oh man, this guy's going to go off for 20 points, but a guy that's got to get 5 to 10 points and just really make this offense a threat, because if they can spread the ball early and often, I think they have a chance to hang with this Pioneers team.
Pioneers get their first basket as Caleb Hoying, the Salina Bulldog, in on the layup. Outside of that, again, you see a line change coming up here for the blue jerseys in a second. That might be through the first 5 minutes of this game because of the way, obviously, that Muskingum's defense is played. It's a very stagnant group on the floor. Muskingum is making Marietta work for every shot.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. I mean, it's obviously only 2-2 right now. We're almost 5 minutes into this game, so defense might end up being a bigger part in this game than we expected. I mean, both teams are averaging around 90 points per game. I believe the Fighting Muskies, or it's 91 for Marietta. I believe it's 80 for the Muskies. So it might not be that high scoring of a game tonight.
Another jumper down, and it finally seems like Marietta has found their rhythm a little bit as Hoying grabs the rebound, immediately looks up court. There's not going to be much more room here before long, as you see in the background at the scorer's table. Everybody off the bench is going to be waiting to come in as Hoying with a nice feed down low. And you can see now Muskingum trying to wait to figure out what was going to go underneath. Just a couple of lazy passes and almost a chance to get out and running for Devon Pert.
Yeah, so we got a lot of guys coming in for Marietta. We got, let's see who exactly we have in. We got MJ Smith coming in for the Muskies, and then we also have Aaron Gelkin. And then for the Pioneers, you have Keith Richardson coming in. You have Jason Ellis in now. You have Mike Hall, and then you have
that young man. Ellis knocks it down.
And then you also have Mason Leidick, and then I believe that is going to be number 5 down low. So that's going to be Tim Krieger. So a whole new 5 in for the Pioneers, and we'll see if they can get it going better than the first 5 came out.
Well, they got a break and immediately turned it into points. Now a 6-2 lead after it was 2-0 for quite some time.
Then another guy in for the Muskies is Carson Carter.
Krieger partially knocks that ball away up on that quick take. 2 against 1 doesn't work out around this time for the Muskies. Krieger trying to pay immediate dividends down low. 3 straight away. And this might be the Heat group, as that 3 is a good-looking shot out of the hands of Mason Leidick. He can fill it up. Just averaging 4 points a game, but he's only played 11 minutes right now.
Yeah, and this is where the Muskies are going to be tested early in this game. I mean, you're down 9-2 really early. You're going to see if they're going to be able to come back and make this a game.
We just got a shot a couple of seconds ago of Travis Schwab, the head coach at Muskingum. He knows something about putting points down, almost 2,000 in his college career at Ohio Wesleyan. As a 3 offline, and here comes the blue attack again. You got to feel like Richardson maybe is just toying with a couple of guys who have guarded him out on the wing so far. See if they go back to him up top on that switch. They feed to Krieger and knocked out of bounds. It ends up in Richardson's hands. Richardson a little cautious now through the first 6 minutes. Quick handoff back to him. It's not helpful when you shoot it off the top of the backboard.
No, I mean, that will not work.
That's what I would do. So 9-2 here early on, and a 9-point run for Marietta. As they go through the first handful of minutes, Muskingum again had opportunities through the first couple of minutes when they were playing solid defense to run this lead, but just haven't been able to get that here against this new group.
Yeah, and another thing about these Muskies is they're playing a lot of freshmen. I mean, right now you got 2 freshmen in, and then you have another one coming in.
Take a look at the replay of Mitch Clark, the sophomore, knocking it down in his 7th start this year. Kind of a different thing for him, too, as you look at Muskingum with playing in 6 games, just missing a couple, not playing.
Yeah, Mitch Clark is, he had some trouble last year staying on the court. I mean, he played in 2 or 3 games, I believe it was, and he was out for the season. He had an injury problem, and then this year he hurt his knee in a game against Baldwin Wallace, and he was out for the next game, and I believe he's been back since then. So I believe he's only missed 1 game so far this season, but that is definitely something that the Muskies need to not have happen if they're going to be able to contend in the OAC. As you're already missing your best player, you don't want to lose your big men inside.
That last runner for MJ Smith out of North Ridgeville High School. 3 away, and again, bottom of the bucket. That's what you don't want to see. Jason Ellis, who can get hot in his 17 minutes a game. If he starts filling them up, you look at this replay, it could be a long night for the Muskies.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Ellis is starting to heat up. He's already got 5 points in the game so far, and they're already bringing in 5 more guys in now. They're getting set, ready, and come in. But another thing I've noticed is the fact that there is a lot of fans from Marietta tonight. Marietta is not too far from Muskingum, about 30, 45 minutes right up the road, and the fans have shown up in bunches tonight.
I think they know it's the game of the week. Tim Krieger with the foul into the timeout. 11:36 left in the first. 12-7. Both teams have had their opportunities to get a handful of replays throughout this first half that have shown where they've waited for a good shot, passed it up, and taken a better shot.
Yeah, I mean, both teams right now kind of just, I would say, just feeling each other out so far, trying to see exactly how they're going to approach the game. I mean, it's 12.
There's another look at the replay. You get a couple of looks throughout this. You look how each team did. Marietta coming off a win against Wilmington on Saturday, 86-69. They're having kind of a usual year for them. It's now the fourth time in program history they've won their first 8. But what is impressive when you look at them on paper is, like you talked about in our keys to the game, Mike, they get their scoring from so many different places.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look through their stats, they have 5 guys averaging in double digits right now. And now some of them might not be playing all the time. You still are getting scoring from a bunch of different places. I mean, guys like Kyle Dixon, guys like Keith Richardson, guys that are just playing very, very well all around. Kyle Dixon averaging 12.6, Tim Krieger averaging just about 10 at 9.9, Caleb Hoying averaging 9.2, Lucas Isley averaging 8 points. Like I said, Keith Richardson adding 11 a game. And it's tough to defend when you have that many guys that are able to go out and shoot and play well day in and day out.
Carson Carter, the freshman, 6'4", 225, in to shoot free throws now. Makes it a 12-8 game. Just plays about 11 minutes per game, but another, all right, to go back again. You miss Dempsey, you give more guys opportunities. He plays a lot of minutes at 31. You give maybe 4 or 5 guys some extra minutes trying to figure out what you can do going forward.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's been happening. Guys like MJ Smith, guys like Carson Carter, guys like Trey Singleton have all been guys, Aaron Gelkin as well, who's out there right now. Those have all been guys that have been coming in and getting a lot more minutes since Dempsey's been out.
And the push behind, I believe, is going to be a quick foul. It hasn't really been an issue yet here in the first half. It's actually the first for Muskingum as you take a look at this replay. Now the inbound set, Marietta right back to action as they work quick. Here's Hoying for 3. That's a flat knuckleball. He used to do that a lot in high school. Got to see that. He's shooting close to 40% from outside, which it wasn't really his forte in high school, but he's become a very well-rounded player in this program. Back for Muskingum is offensively, they score 81 points a game. The problem has been stopping opponents to the tune of just about 76 as a left-hand floater. That was a good-looking shot for Carter. Just couldn't get it to fall down.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the Fighting Muskies have given up points per game, 86 points to Kenyon. No, excuse me, not 86 to Kenyon. They gave up 108 to Worcester in the first game of the year, and they've been giving up a lot of points lately, so they are definitely having trouble defensively.
Trying to figure that out against a Marietta team that has been in their face for a majority of the game. But one guy they have not been in the face of, and he has made them pay, in MJ Smith. Comes in 6 of 11 from outside, and he just tied the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, that's one guy we've been talking about. I mean, he's a freshman. He's been getting in a lot more, and he's been able to make those threes and really make some big-time plays and show why he needs to be out there more often.
Anthony Wallace said, look what I found. That ball was supposed to go right back to Caleb Hoying. Comes right back to him. It's now a 14-12 game, just outside of 10 minutes here in the first half. It's, again, a slowly moving first half because outside of recently, I just talked about it, about Muskingum getting hot, they missed a ton of shots in the first part of this half they'd like to have back.
Yeah, as Carson Carter just gets in there and gets some points for the Muskies to tie the game up.
There's the guy you asked who might be that guy to emerge. It's been him so far, as a 3 from Wallace is no good for Marietta. 21-7 a year ago, made their 5th straight tournament trip. Gone to a couple of Elite 8s and a couple of Sweet 16s in that run.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, for the Muskies, it's good experience for these young players to be playing against a great team like Marietta. I mean, even if they end up losing the game, it's great experience for them to get to see such a good team so early in the season.
Wallace with the pick, went for the, I think he was going to go layup, but Carter behind him committed the foul, and he put his hands up to his mouth, I think, mainly to make sure he didn't say anything that could get him in more trouble. So look at these replays, a terrific shot from just a couple of minutes ago. Anthony Wallace at the line, playing in his 90th game, starting his 49th in his career, at 11 points per game, an All-OAC honorable mention pick a year ago. 26 of 32 from the free throw line this year.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been very consistent in his career. He's averaging 11 points per game over his 90 games. Like you said, this is his 90th game, so obviously he's been a very good player for the Pioneers, a very consistent player since he's been a Pioneer.
Puts his team back on top now by 2 in the first half. Through the first part of this, Muskingum shooting 5 of 13 from the field, and that shot's blocked. 2 of 6 from outside. Marietta at 6 of 18 and 2 of 9 as they continue to keep firing. I think percentage doesn't really matter to them, Mike. They're going to just continue to do what they do.
No, yeah, definitely not. They're a team that's confident in what they do, and they're not going to let misses make them change.
Hoying just missed 2 point-blank tips. Kind of off balance. Would have been highlight worthy had he been able to get either one to go. And he's a guy, and I love the 5x5. It shows if you're Marietta, you're obviously a deep team and you trust your bench. You're able to let them all get out there as a unit and work, as Trey Singleton drives to the basket and is fouled.
Yeah, another team that kind of does it the same way is John Carroll. They have a lot of guys come in at different times. They have a really deep bench. They're known for that, having kind of a platoon type deal. So Marietta's kind of bringing the same thing, and obviously it's worked for them and Coach Vanderwall.
Free throw up and good for Singleton. Just 2 out of 4 through the early part of the season. Kind of an interesting thing about him too. You look at it, the freshman from Senecaville, Ohio, he's got that one big game. He's got 6 against Otterbein, but still kind of trying to find his minutes at about 9 a game. Comes in, maybe a couple of those games in mop-ups, gets some minutes, but really getting valuable experience in his first quarter as a freshman of the season. You really can't understate how tough that is to go from high school straight into college and be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to be in any sport, go from being in high school to being a freshman in college. And one guy that came in and played very well, ended up being the OAC Freshman of the Year, was the aforementioned Marcus Dempsey. He came as a freshman, just completely played very, very well, was the OAC Freshman of the Year. But other than that, I've not seen many freshmen come through the ranks of the OAC and play well, really, really well to be OAC Freshman of the Year.
Great pass by Jalen Page to Mitch Clark for 2. And don't look now, but the home team up on the scoreboard, as immediately whenever that happens, you get a foul. Stops the break. Coaches go from elated to not very happy with their players.
Yeah, that's going to send Lucas Isley to the free throw line. If you look at it, Isley is sitting at 77% on the year from the free throw line as he does make the first free throw.
Just bangs one home, had a 14-point performance earlier this year against Wittenberg. He's a fantastic read. I read for about 20 minutes about him. Set the OVAC and high school conference record in the 300 hurdles. Actually goes to the state finals in track as a freshman. Then turns around. He plays 2 sports at one time in high school. He's one of the rare schools that let you do that, as he came out of River High School in Clarington. But he was able to excel at both at the same time. He missed 1 out of the 2 free throws to give his team just a 1-point deficit to work with. And it seems like right now, I say this as they miss, but the Muskies are more comfortable offensively. Wow.
Yeah, and as soon as we say that, Isley comes down the court, makes a 3 from the top of the key, and it's now 20-18 in favor of the Pioneers.
Well, to be fair, as you get a look at this, I didn't say he was uncomfortable.
Yeah. but Jason Peoples comes back and makes a three. But like you were saying, the Fighting Muskies are looking comfortable on offense. I mean, they're giving the ball around. Something I was saying before the game is the key to the game. They're spreading the ball around, kind of giving everybody a touch and trying to find the guy that's going to be hot for the game.
Krieger went back into the corner to Mason Leidick. He was trying to find that player for Marietta as he timeout at 6:27 here in the first half with the Muskies on top of 21-20. Not really anything so far as the stats go that has shown either team separate. Muskingum is winning the bench point contest 11-8, which is kind of a big thing considering the fact they're not the ones putting 5 guys out at a time.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, is freshmen. Freshmen have been big so far for the Muskies today. I mean, you got guys like Carson Carter, guys like Trey Singleton in there, MJ Smith. Those are 3 guys right there that need to play above their years tonight if they want to have a chance to win this game against Marietta. So the freshmen just need to keep coming off the bench, keep playing well, and then obviously your veterans, guys like Devon Perk, guys like Jalen Page. Guys like Jason Peoples as well, they got to be able to play well too. So it's really got to just mesh together tonight to try and beat this number 8 team in the country.
You see it a little bit in these replays right now, but one of your keys to this game earlier on was about rebounding. And you emphasized it by saying rebounding. Right now, it's 13-12 Muskingum in that category. I'd say that they're doing their work on that end.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, you have Marietta, they are averaging just about 42 rebounds per game. Then you come back for the Muskies, and they're averaging about 35 rebounds a game. So if you just look at it by straight stats, you would think that Marietta would be able to out-rebound them, and that's been something that the Fighting Muskies have been kind of struggling with all year, is just rebounding the ball. So if they're able to get in, and I think a problem with that is they don't have like a go-to guy inside that's like 7 feet tall. I mean, they got guys that are tall, but not like extremely tall, so they got to really just grind to get those rebounds inside.
They don't have 6'7" Tim Krieger down there.
No.
You see him set up in the middle of the lane on the defensive side. Krieger trying to provide the defense. Mitch Clark got him with a hook shot left last time. He got just enough to bother Mitch Clark, and you can see it really did as he went back down the floor. As those two switch back out, it has been 3 different guys, really, as you put Caleb Hoying in that group with Krieger. Beautiful spin move on the little baby hook shot. People at the Vatican and Delta St. John's are having flashbacks right now. He used to do that all the time on his way to 1,000 points for the Blue Jays. And the take up underneath and a foul. It's not the way that you want to do it if you're Jason Ellis, but a terrific move from Devin Pert to get there.
Yeah, but one thing, Mike, is if you look at it, you got 5 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. The Muskies are down by 1 point. If they go into halftime with either a lead or if they just make it free by Jason Peoples once again, if they go into halftime with either a lead or only down by a couple points, Marietta should start kind of being a little nervous, because that team is going to be very confident going into the halftime, and Coach Schwab's going to really get them pumped up to play into the second half.
Krieger with the rebound, left hand too strong, as it makes the team so dangerous. Krieger with a free throw line jumper. That rattles out. And you can see that's not a smart play on Mike Hall's part. Just to reach over, you're not going to, it's kind of the old football play. Don't block anybody if you can see their back numbers.
Yeah.
So a quick substitution for Marietta, bringing back in Kyle Dixon.
But yeah, I mean, the longer you leave the Muskies in there, the more dangerous they get.
And you talk about Jason Peoples, hit that 3 on the other end, really right on cue to facilitate Mike's point. He's the guy, he can get going, hit those 5 threes against Mount St. Joe's. He's already got a pair, and I would say, controversial foul call, depending on which side of the gym you're sitting on.
Yeah, and Peoples is a guy, that's his forte, is shooting the 3 ball. You don't see him shoot many 2s. He is a 3-point guy, and he's had a good story as well. I mean, he comes in as a freshman, plays decent minutes his freshman year, and he gets hurt. He gets hurt for the whole entire season. He's out for the whole year. He comes back last year and plays some more, but I mean, it's tough when you go through a season-ending injury and you're trying to come back from it, but I think he's done a great job. He's a captain now, and he's done a good job of coming back and being a contributor for the Muskies.
Played his high school ball at one of my favorite venues to go to at Northmont High School. They call it the Thunderdome because it is just that loud. And Krieger, you can make a case, he walked, he was trying to establish his position, and really he kind of stepped out of bounds too. He's got huge feet. Try to tell a guy that big not to do that. Great defense for the home team. And a beautiful shot of the young man wiping up the floor before that whole thing. It's now the 24-22 Muskie lead. Right down to 4 minutes. What they've got to do, or at least what they were going to try to do, was the turnover and the timeout, was be more deliberate with the basketball. And Tim Krieger is in a conversation with Mr. Pert. I don't know what maybe that was about. Both of them going to the floor. Just a case of two high-level athletes trying to get one ball.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to look too much into that, but you also don't want to let that be a thing as the game goes on, because obviously you do not want to have any technical fouls coming out of anything like that, because as anybody that watches basketball knows, any technical foul is a bad technical foul, and it can really hurt a team. So obviously the Muskies sitting with a 24-22 lead right now, and they are feeling very good coming out of this timeout.
Marietta has won 16 straight in this series, dating back to the last Muskie win in 29-10 of 71-64. But right now, tell those kids on the floor that, they'll just point and probably say, yeah, but we're up 2.
Yeah.
And probably tell you to go away. We're a little bit busy right now. Muskingum won the first ever meeting as we get some Pioneer fans trying to figure out what to do right here. First ever meeting in 1903 was a 22-21 game. My, oh my, how the game has changed.
I was going to say, it's crazy to think how much basketball's changed as Jason Ellis makes another 3. I believe that is his 3rd 3 of the game. So actually, no, 2nd 3 of the game, but
just feels like it.
Up, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy out on the wing who has really become the shooter. Is now here's the other side for Tyler Bartle. His shot won't go. He's another one. Really, you talked about a lot of these guys as the steal, looking for 2 points. Krieger, they're going to find that next week. Jalen Page right there to clean it up, though, out of Vandalia Butler.
Yeah, Devon Pert's definitely a quick guy, somebody that can get some steals, but as soon as we said that, Jason Ellis makes another 3.
I didn't even look away. I just heard it. They've got a microphone well placed behind the basket, and you could hear that one just hit and fall through. So he strikes again out of the tune of 11 points here in the first half. As both teams, I was going to say, we were going a couple minutes ago about, you said going into the half, you've also got to play a little bit more deliberate right now and take possessions away from Marietta. Now, a 7-point run.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we say that, the Pioneers show why they're the number 8 team in the country. And like you said, take an 8-0 run. It's 30-26 now, and the Pioneers are in the lead. But back to what I was saying about Devon Pert, he has 13 steals, make that 14 steals on the year right now. And he's definitely a quick guy, definitely can get to the hoop. And so he's done a good job of getting steals so far this year.
Played at Reynoldsburg High School. That's they have had some guys that can flat out shoot the basketball the last 5 or 6 years coming out of Reynoldsburg. He's obviously one you talked about. He can get end to end in a hurry, but that last set of replays I thought was interesting because you got to see before the basket went in, Tim Krieger tried to swat that ball halfway home. That was an impressive block on his part. Yeah. Now you're in a precarious situation right now with just under 3 minutes if you're Muskingum.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like we've been saying, you want to go into the locker room with either a small deficit or a lead or tied, and you just don't want to give Marietta too much momentum going into the half.
Page threw it away in a beautiful run of the floor for the number 8 team in the country as the basket for Kyle Dixon. Apparently a heck of a golfer, I'm told. Was a high school qualifier, and now you're in your head. You talk about atmosphere, about the home crowd feeding off that. It's going the other way right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it probably feels like a home game for Marietta right now. I mean, they have a lot of fans. Obviously, there's a lot of Muskie fans as well, but Marietta obviously travels their fans very well, especially to a venue like New Concord that's, like I mentioned earlier, not too far away from Marietta, and they're feeding off the crowd right now as they take a 6-point lead.
That ball hit straight on that miss. It was a good-looking shot. Ellis really, he's kind of misleading at times. He makes you think, all right, I'm going to look for somebody to pass underneath, and here is another steal as the lead continues to swell. I can't even finish talking about the kid before he puts another one in.
Yeah, Jason Ellis has been the guy so far for the Pioneers, and as we're about a minute away from the end of the first half, Muskie's got to get something going.
Trying to find something down inside. Everybody's spaced up on the wings. It's not a bad idea, as there's going to be a foul that is going to upset. You can hear it. Coach Vanderwall, 3 times the OAC Coach of the Year, has at least 3 arguments, I would believe, about that call.
Yeah, and this is where having freshmen playing for the Muskies and guys that aren't as experienced, that's when this comes into being a harmful thing, is when you get into situations like this, when a team like Marietta is really starting to go on a run, they don't know what to do, and it starts to be a struggle.
Second time for Mitch Clark with that baby hook shot. He's got 3 straight games in double figures coming into today, trying to add to that. Already 9 first half points. Down to a minute 15 in a 6-point game. Marietta's give and go has been impressive. As the fall away jumper, probably not what Kyle Dixon's going to tell anybody about. He thought he got fouled. I didn't really see it. Now under a minute. Miller out front with the basketball, tries to find just that little bit of a seam. Down to the baseline, working on Hoying again. And the foul on Hoying. You gotta like, I would think, a guy who sees a lot of games. The referees are cracking down on a lot of things. You used to be able to, when you back down to the post, go ahead and just shove the guy out of your way.
Yeah, they definitely have been cracking down on stuff like that. And one thing I did want to mention was how quickly this first half has gone by. I mean, we're 48 seconds away, and I mean, first half has not gone it's not gone very long at all. I mean,
about half an hour.
Yeah, so, but as soon as I say that there is a foul, and we do get guys sent to the line, but there's not been a lot of free throws for either team so far.
That's usually where you just knock on wood.
Yeah.
Clark now with his 4th straight game in double figures. He's got 10 right now, as high as 15 against Baldwin Wallace this year. And he comes in with just 4 free throws made on the year. He hits 2 straight here. More importantly, his team back within 4 with about 48 seconds to go.
Yeah, as Brandon Keys comes into the game now for Mitch Clark.
Down to 45 seconds, maybe make sure to take Clark out, get him a rest, make sure he doesn't pick up any unneeded fouls as the ball thuds off the back of the rim, nearly ripped away on the rebound. Schuler had a fingertip on it, and he is dejected with himself as he goes back down the court without the ball.
This is a good chance for the Muskies to get closer. Maybe take a 3 here, see if he can make one. He got a lot of good 3-point shooters on the floor right now.
Also hindered by time. The shot clock and the game clock at a differential of about 5. Running out down to 8 seconds and bumped on the way. It hit the rim for Keys. Gets his own rebound. Still can't get it to fall with 5 seconds. I would imagine if you're Brandon Keys right now, you're very upset with yourself that you couldn't find that split-second opening to be able to get that to go in.
Yeah, but Brandon Keys, something about him is he has a brother that played at Muskingum, Josh Keys, one of the best players, one of the best big men in Muskingum history. So he definitely has learned a lot from his brother, how to get into the paint and make something happen.
Muskingum made a mistake as the 3 just offline for Keys. He wanted that one to go in, just couldn't find it. 34-30 in a fast-moving first half as we are set here in just a couple of minutes for our halftime interview. We'll talk to the Muskingum VP and AD in Steve Brocklebank. It is a 34-30 lead for the Pioneers here on NKT.TV.
You heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family schedule.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family schedule.
34-30 in favor of the visitors is the halftime lead. Steve Brockbank, the AD and the vice president here at Marietta College and at Muskingum College, sorry. And I was looking at the board, and I was just thinking kind of a big move for you coming over in April.
Yeah, it was. It was a big move. I was at Miami University for about 4.5 years, and then grabbed a hold of this opportunity to come over here and be the director of athletics. And I think it was just a wonderful opportunity. We have a new president, and so that I think really inspired me to take the job. Her vision for the future, particularly surrounding athletics, and the fact that how she values athletics and sees it as a valuable piece of the educational component of what is, to be a student here at Muskingum University.
Kind of a hard thing, though, to leave Oxford. There's a lot of pluses about being down there.
Yeah, Oxford's a beautiful place. I worked for an outstanding boss, David Saylor, who's the director of athletics there, and had an opportunity to learn a lot. So it's always tough to leave a place like that because it is a special place, but at the same time, I think an opportunity to be the director of athletics and work with the president side by side with a vision that's similar to yours, with an opportunity to have an impact on a number of student athletes was too good of an opportunity to pass up.
It kind of helps out too because you have 3 daughters. They're a little bit older. It wasn't like having younger kids where you had to uproot them or anything, and you're mostly in the same area.
Yeah, for the most part. I had my other daughter just graduated. My second daughter just graduated from Miami on Friday. But my youngest one, who's a junior in high school, Morgan, that was it was a challenge, right? Anytime you're moving in high school, we also moved her in middle school, so I owe her a lot, and she's still not slapping me high fives, but I think she's done a really good job adjusting, and then of course I have to thank my wife. I mean, it's never easy to make a transition moving unless you have a spouse that's all in. And college athletics and athletics in general, and I tell people, especially young coaches or aspiring administrators, that college athletics. It's not a job. It's a lifestyle, and everybody in your family has to be bought into it. And if they are, there's a lot of unique experiences and opportunities that surround college athletics, but there's also some challenges that other families aren't going to encounter.
Well, it's a little bit different too for you because you've mostly been a Midwest guy. You're from Michigan. The 2 national championships as an assistant at Grand Valley State. That had to be, being able to leave that program with what they've had, that had to be a hard decision too.
Yeah, that was a tough decision, and that was more of a family decision. We we had won a couple national championships and actually had gone undefeated 2 seasons in a row, and an opportunity, one, to go back. I became a high school AD for a period of time, and it had a lot to do with my daughters. They were involved in athletics, and college coaching doesn't afford you much of an opportunity to be around them very often. And so that particular job, and it was in a place that I really love, Ludington, Michigan, great people there as well. They gave me the opportunity to come back and be an AD, and that's where I fell in love really with the whole the administration aspect of sports.
Something a little bit different for you guys coming into this game. We talked about it in the broadcast in the first half, but missing your leading scorer, kind of trying to find that new identity. You've got to be thrilled, though, being within 4 at the half.
Yeah, I think our kids do. Number one, our kids do a great job playing defense, and they always have. And obviously losing Marcus is, it hurts, right, when you take that productive of a scorer off the floor. But our kids play great defense. They rebound, they work hard, and I think that's why you see the game as close as it is. And I think the ball movement's been pretty good for us as well. So, it hurts to lose Marcus, but we've had a lot of kids that have stepped up, and I think, losing Marcus gives some young players an opportunity to get in there and show us what they can do as well. So it really, in some respects, a really exciting opportunity for a lot of those players.
Kind of a key for you guys in the second half?
I think the key in the second half is to continue to play great defense, right, and to rebound, work hard, box out, get some rebounds, and then we missed a lot of shots early on, right? At some point, we got to put the ball in the hoop.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I think this is awesome for the OAC. It's awesome for Muskingum University, and so we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Marietta on top, 34-30 at the half here on NKT.TV.
What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Have you heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Have you heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more.
Back here at the half, Marietta on top 34-30 over Muskingum. Mike Kern and Mike Pagano back here inside the home of the Fighting Muskies, and a big thanks to the AD here in Steve Rockelbank for talking to us for a couple of minutes about his journey, and I would imagine his youngest daughter that he had to buy her some ice cream during all of those moves. You look at the first half, Mike, what sticks out to you?
For the Muskies, it's got to be Mitch Clark. I mean, he's got 11 points overall right now. He's got 4 rebounds. He was one of he was one of my guys that I really felt needed to do well for the Muskies to be able to win this game, and he has. I mean, he's played well so far. He's got 11 points, like I mentioned, 4-6. I mean, he really can't play much better. And then for the Pioneers, you have Jason Ellis. I mean, he's got 13 points. That's already over his average for the season. He's averaging about 9.5 points. He had 9.5 points per game, and he played extremely well in the first half. 3 of 4 from the three-point line, and he always had a big shot for Marietta when they needed it.
We'll see if that continues in the second half. Get a look at our stats, and really both teams mostly the same. Marietta 13 of 36 from the floor, 5 of 16 from outside. Muskingum 10 of 27 and 4 of 12. Rebounds about even as well at 20 to 18, and you see why it's a 4-point game right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Muskies have been able to really stay in this game so far.
Both teams back on the floor now, back in this interesting OAC matchup. Again, Marietta comes in at 9-0. They're number 8 in the country at 4-0. But the other side of it, they can't afford a loss the way that the OAC has set out this year. It's a 3 offline. Muskingum at 4-4, continuing to fight. Just fell asleep on the back door as Anthony Wallace makes it a 6-point advantage.
Yeah, if you do look at the OAC, you have Mount Union sitting right now 5-0 in the OAC, 9-1 overall. Marietta 4-0, Capital 4-0 in the OAC, 9-0 for Marietta, obviously 9-2 for Capital. So you got those 2 top 3 teams, and then you got some teams at the bottom. Obviously, you got Ohio Northern, which is actually surprising considering they have the OAC Player of the Year from last year. They're 0-4, and then you got teams like Otterbein sitting at 1-4, and then Marietta sitting at 1-3, right? Or Muskingum sitting at 1-3 right now in the OAC. So it's definitely a very tough conference, top to bottom.
3 for Jalen Page brings the Muskies back to within 3, but a foul will put Caleb Hoying at the free throw line on the opposite side. About 21 minutes a game this year. 6'4", 243 pounds for the junior. Was a tremendous free throw shooter in high school. Has continued that here in college. Just now 5 of 8 this year, though. He's become a facilitator. He's one of those big guys as he knocks down both. He can get you. He'll get down inside the bang back and forth and set up what has been a very good outside shooting Pioneer squad. They've continued that as a couple of switches. It's really hard, I would think, though, to kind of prepare as a younger team for a team that will come at you. And I mentioned this in the first half with that line change, and Hoying himself might be headed to the bench here soon.
Yeah, so you mentioned 3 points, 3-point shooters for Marietta. I mean, they're shooting right now, before the game, obviously, they were shooting 34% from the 3-point line. Actually, no, that was 34% field goal percentage, but they are a great 3-point shooting team, and it's really showed so far today as Mitch Clark gets back inside the paint and gets another 2 points. So Mitch Clark has definitely been the guy so far for the Muskies as they are trying to cut more into this lead. They're only down by 3.
Again, an impressive outing for him so far. 13 points ahead of his average of 10.5. The inside-outside for Hoying works well, and as if I was just talking about it, he sets it up. Kyle Dixon knocks it down. So Dixon with another 3 points on the board puts the lead back to 6 at 41-35. You feel like a little bit of a heavyweight prize fight as the 3 offline, but the rebound kept alive on the Muskingum end. You continue to take punches through the first, let's say, 5, 6, 7 minutes in this half. If you continue to stay within 4, 5, 6 points, you continue to feel like, I would imagine, if you're the Muskies, you've got a good chance in this ball game.
Yeah, and that is the problem, obviously. Now that they make another
There's another
three,
one.
That was Mel Schuler to make it 44-35 in favor of Marietta. But you kind of think about from Muskingum, you're obviously not the greatest team in the world so far this year. You're sitting at 4-4 overall. You're not have your best player, and you're going up against number 8 Marietta, and they keep coming back. Every time you make a 3, they make a 3. Every time you just make a 2, they make a 2, and it's tough because you're a young team. It's tough to really stay focused and be like, man, we could still win this game when they just won't go away.
That's yeah, you don't want to sit there and trade punches. A lot of boxers are taking on Pacquiao, Mayweather. Oh, I'll just go ahead and hit him a handful of times. That's great till he hits you.
Yeah.
Say Mike Tyson, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth. But during this timeout, a lot of things that are being talked about on both sides, continuing to weather the storm, really just one or two stops at a time, and there have not been that many where it has been Muskingum have been able to get in front and continue to play in front. The two steals in the first half that pop out of my brain were from Marietta. Anthony Wallace put one down now in his 90th game, and everything kind of feeling their way. This is how they've built so many big leads in their 9 games this year.
Yeah, and you do think about it, I mean, this team's averaging about 91 points a game, and they only scored 34 in the first half. So at some point, that 91 points per game team is going to come out of this Marietta Pioneers, and so far they've been able to do that, scoring 10 points not even 3 minutes into the second half.
They didn't get 10 points until about 6 minutes to go in the half. In the original half, as a travel, the argument is going to be for Anthony Wallace. I think what he's saying right now to one of the officials is, I only traveled because the guy hit me. It's not an argument he's going to win, and I'm surprised that he's not coming out. I know a lot of coaches, Mike, will do that where, all right, we love your aggression, but you're a little too heated right now.
Yeah. As Carson Carter comes into the game now. That was for Tyler Bardal.
So Devin Pert back up top. He's got fill it up range, but he doesn't want to take that shot from out past the corner of the volleyball line. Great pass by him into the corner. 3 though offline. It should stay right back. Well, interactive into the hands, and the guy we talked about, Anthony Wallace on the other end, he's happier now. Builds an 11-point lead, largest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was only his 6th point of the game so far, so obviously he's trying to get hot as well. But yeah, Jason Peoples missed a 3 on that last possession from Muskingum. He's a guy they need to get hot from behind the arc if they want to have any chance. They need to get hot behind the arc in general, as he misses another one right there.
He tried to make it smart. But that was a hard call for Peoples too, as now dribbling to the basket and missing his Wallace. But Peoples had the right idea. As the travel will send it back the other way. He just kind of got caught between, he couldn't get the ball out quick enough, and it ended up being a steal. So you see a handful of layups here in this highlight package as Marietta makes that 5x5 subset again. That's what their recruiting has paid off for. They have a lot of guys, if you look up and down their lineup, that are of similar stature. A lot of 6'4" guys who all played on the wing in high school, who can all handle the basketball, are terrific on-ball defenders. Shows why they've run the league the last 5 or 6 years, because you don't get a lot of teams that are able to recruit like that.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, it's tough. Because, I mean, the first thing you got to look at, unfortunately, is that it's still, it's Division III teams. So you're looking at the big guys. They're not going to obviously be coming to you. And then, obviously, it just kind of depends. And Marietta was obviously one of the best teams in the country, and they've been doing a good job of being able to be so deep on the bench. But like you were saying, a lot of teams in the OAC and in the country don't have as many players that can come in and contribute like the Pioneers do. I mean, they have they have 10 or 12 guys that can come in and contribute 5 or 10 points a game, and when you're playing a team like that, it's really tough to defend.
Andrew Gelkin got good minutes in the first half as he played 8 minutes of the first half. When he checks back in, he's only about 10 minutes a game, but kind of looking for that extra player as he gets in position in front of Mike Hall to draw the offensive foul.
Yeah, so the turnovers kind of racking up a little bit here for the Pioneers. They only had 2 turnovers in the first half. That's 2 early in this second half. So if the Fighting Muskies can, like you said, keep it around, hang around as the game goes on, they still have a chance. I mean, they're down by 11, but that can change quickly with how good this team can shoot 3-pointers.
Next one of these OAC games of the week will emanate from Wilmington on January the 9th. It'll be Otterbein taking on Wilmington. We'll see each team in the OAC throughout the course of the season, the men and the women. It'll be spread out throughout the course of the year. As another turnover. Oh, this one is a way outside easy layup. You let a guy as quick in front of you with the basketball as Keith Richardson out of Northmont High School get there. He's going to finish in a flurry. Lead the largest that has been, now up to 13. It's got a lot of tremendous athletes from Northmont High School as the ball down to the floor. And they got a timeout there, or the turnover. Seemed like each official was saying a different thing.
Yeah, not quite sure. They do give the timeout to the Muskies, but like you were saying, it looked like a whole different thing was going on for all the officials out there. So, but either way, the Fighting Muskies get the timeout, and they sure need it, as they are starting to lose their momentum in this game, as they're now down by 13, and if they're going to get going, they need to get going soon.
Jesse Joseph, Danny Frank, and Brett Gearhart, the 3 officials for tonight's game. And you talked about it a little bit ago. At some point, you felt like that 91 per game Marietta team was going to show up. So they had 10 points through the early part of this half. I mean, they've really picked up their stats. They're now shooting 18 of 43, but they're 7 of 19 from outside. They're now winning the rebounding battle as well, and that was your key. Who wins the rebounding battle has a terrific chance to go up big in this game. Bench points are double as well.
Yeah, so the Fighting Muskies just really struggling. We talked about bench points being in favor of the Muskies early, but then that platoon system that Coach Vanderwall brings in for Marietta, bringing in 5 guys at a time, eventually it's going to catch up to the Muskies, and that's exactly what happened. But another thing for the Muskies is they've gone cold from behind the arc, and that just can't happen, because if you're not going to rebound and you're not going to give your team second chances, this Marietta team's just going to dominate you, go down the court, and get easy buckets.
You think about it as the dribble all the way to the basket for Keys for 2. They are 1 for 9 in this second half from 3. And that's really, it's 8 more possessions as inside without a basket. You give a team that good at those, it's not going to go well. It's Mason Leidick out of Woodridge High School in Cuyahoga Falls with the basket. Just about opportunities as Krieger with the steal. A long throw out ahead, and fouls upcoming. It's pretty much this time, Keith Richardson, you're not going to get that easy basket.
Yeah, foul on Brandon Keys there. You can definitely tell now that the youth of this Fighting Muskies team, I mean, you got 3 freshmen out there, you got 1 sophomore out there. You can definitely tell that, I wouldn't say the moment's too big, but they're struggling. I mean, they're struggling, and obviously it's still the 8th ranked team in the country, so they're a good team no matter how you look at it. But the Fighting Muskies we saw in the first half have not been the Fighting Muskies we've seen so far in the second half, as Marietta takes a 14-point lead as Keith Richardson's sitting here at the free throw line.
10.1 points per game for him in his 39 starts and 91 games played in college. As I try to say he's doing well, he misses a free throw. So the 2-touchdown lead as Muskingum tries to figure something out here. They could slow it down, but you bring in Jalen Page, that's not what you're looking to do. Page has it stripped away, and again, off into the races. For the layup and the foul comes Richardson. You could kind of feel that one building. Richardson had a head full of steam, and he looked back for a split second, and I think, from where I sit, kind of baited Mitch Clark into that foul.
Yeah, Richardson has definitely tried to take over the second half so far. I mean, he had an easy layup earlier in the half. He just had the and one. He just got fouled on the play before this as well, so Keith Richardson's really coming in and making an impact on this game.
So at the media timeout stop, 53-37 is the lead for the visitors. Just under 14 minutes to go here in the second half. Both teams, different versions of the same thing, really. Free throws. That's the one thing that's impressed me. 12 of 14 made combined. You don't get a lot of that these days. That's the one things where a lot of people leave on the board, but points off turnovers right now. Marietta has a 14-2 advantage in that category. They've really ramped it up. When they get the ball, they're not going to give it away. They're going to turn into points.
Yeah, points off turnovers, and then just turnovers in general. I mean, you look at it, Muskingum has 11 turnovers so far. They've had 3 so far in the second half, as they had 8 going into the break, and the Pioneers have had 2. But if you're going to turn over the ball, I mean, we've been talking about it all game so far. If you're going to turn over the ball against the number 8 team in the country, it's going to be hard to win against them. So, I mean, if they're going to be able to score off your turnovers, it's going to make it a really, really tough game here for the Fighting Muskies as the Pioneers come out of the timeout and the Muskies are still waiting to come out.
Teams will meet again in Marietta just before Valentine's Day next year. It's a big stretch for Muskingum, too. They go to Waynesburg on Saturday, and then they go to the Guilford tournament for the final of the year. They open 2019 at home against Ohio Northern and at Mount Union. It's not an easy stretch.
No. I mean, obviously, we mentioned earlier that Ohio Northern's sitting at 0-4 in the conference right now, and they're not having their best year in the world. But at the end of the day, it's still Ohio Northern, and they still have Ryan Bruns, who is one of the best players in the OAC, if not the best player in the OAC.
So Richardson knocks down another free throw to make it 54-37. Muskingum tried the handoff, and it ended up the same way. Another steal for Richardson. So Richardson has continued to take that mantle and take away the basketball. He's got 6 points right now. As he shot, that would have been a nice tip if it had gone. Richardson right now with a 2-for-5 performance from the floor. We'll show you a lot of what we were talking about coming up here in a second in the replay on these turnovers. As a foul. We'll put a, looks like an angry Mitch Clark at the free throw line.
Yeah, we'll see if Mitch Clark can keep it going here. I mean, he's got 13 points right now. Obviously, he can't be the only one for the Muskies if they want to try and come back in this game to get hot. I mean, they need somebody else to start getting hot from beyond the arc. They need to start forcing turnovers, something. But what they're doing right now is not going to get them back into this game.
Clark, the 6'5" senior out of Dalton High School. Knocks it down. He'll go to the bench here to get checked on real quick. While they do this, we'll talk about we've talked about the turnovers, and at times you'll see a little bit is because of the pressure, and a little bit is because of carelessness with the basketballs. You'll get that point here in this set of replays.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with youth. I mean, we've been talking about that, how the Muskies have so many freshmen and so many sophomores that get a lot of playing time, especially without Marcus Dempsey out there. And you're going to make careless plays with the basketball. It's just going to happen. I mean, it's like we've been saying, it's different from obviously high school to college basketball. And so they've definitely been showing that today and showing that in the second half. If they've been making a lot of plays that is not going to make Coach Schwab happy.
Clark with the second rebound, or his second free throw rather, as he's got a couple of rebounds as well, makes it 54-39. But and again, not to continue to beat this point, but Marcus Dempsey, how good has he been last year in the 2 games against Marietta? He played lights out. I mean, he had 40-some points in one game. He's averaging 25 in his 4 games.
Yeah.
And last year, he beats a school record that had stood for, well, since 1912.
Yeah, I mean, he scored 57 points in a game last year to set the school record for points in a game, and he also set the school record for points in a season as well. So, I mean, I think I mentioned earlier, he is on pace to beat the all-time scoring record here at Muskingum. He is on pace to get over probably 2,000 points.
He's got 1354 right now, as that was another basket on the other side for Mitch Clark. He continues to play well in the absence, but Dempsey, he passed Bill Ruby for 10th place against John Carroll with 25 points. He added 15 after that. Really, within about 517 points, that's a lot of people would love to have that just as a season by themselves. Just a question of how long he's out for.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he may be out for the rest of the season, but he may be able to come back at the end of the season. One guy he's trying to catch is his dad, Mark Dempsey. Mark Dempsey's 6th all-time on the list here for the Fighting Muskies, and he played and obviously was a great player here at Muskingum. But if you think about it, obviously Mark Dempsey is going to want his son Marcus to beat his record and also beat the all-time scoring record. And I don't know, Marcus has been a joy to be able to watch.
He's about 50 points away from beating his dad, by the way. And that's a heck of a jump from 10 to 6. Now they back down and is just short. Heck of a move, at least even to get to that point for Mitch Clark as he clean up for Devin Pert. Clark has felt it now. He's finally figured out, all right, 17 points. I'm going to take this point about halfway through here. You guys are going to get on my back. I'm going to become Marcus Dempsey.
Oh, as they call a travel on Carson Carter. He doesn't like it. He took a step or two before he took the three-pointer. One guy I feel that needs to get going a little bit is Devon Pert. He's got 2 points right now on the Knights. He was one of those guys I was talking about that needed to be a big factor in this game if the Muskies are going to be able to win. And he has not been that guy yet so far, but he's still got 11 minutes and 47 seconds to try and make it a thing. But they are down by 14, and he needs your upperclassman leader to be able to do that.
Mitch Clark right now, 17 points on 6 of 11 shooting. He's the game's leading scorer. Speaking of great shooting, Anthony Wallace gets to 50% and into double figures with 10. Balance. We talked about it early and a lot for Marietta. Their leader, Jason Ellis, has 14. Wallace has now got 10. Richardson's got 8. Dixon and Leidick each with 7. That's what disguising where your points are going to come from and not making it obvious where your shots are coming from. And there have been a lot of shots in this game is good for Marietta. Ball knocked out of bounds.
I mean, Marietta's really ramped it up, obviously, in this second half so far. They had 34 points in the first half. They're already at 59, so well on pace to beat that first half total.
Great pitch by Pert. 4-3. Jalen Page, count the bucket and the shove afterwards. This might be something a little bit that's building. You just talked about Carson Carter when he walked, hit that three, and how he approached walking away. He's now got back-to-back negative plays, as coaches would call it.
Yeah, and goes back to being a freshman. I mean, he hasn't been out there a whole lot. I mean, he's played in every single game so far this year. He's starting to get more minutes as the year goes by, but he's going to make plays like that.
Going for 3 up and down. Came in as a 50% three-point shooter, does the junior. 62-46. So the good news for the Muskies, they're not laying down and taking it. They're going to continue to take the fight right to the number 8 team in the country.
As they call a blocking foul there on, that's going to be Mike Hall, looks like, for the Pioneers, and that's going to send, actually no, that is not Mike Hall, that is Kyle Dixon. And Carson Carter drew the blocking foul, and that'll keep the Muskies with the ball.
He didn't have a smile, by the way. He just kind of walked away, so that's fine. As they will mop up the floor. Now trying to get it back in. Page, he's not the biggest guy, and I don't know that he saw Lucas Isley run right by him. Isley says, here, you can have it back. That's fine. So back for Page is the same matchup now. Flips to the other side. Feed into the low block. Clark's feeling it. He'll turn around, take the jumper, and knock it down. I don't think he's missed a shot yet in the second half that he hasn't immediately grabbed the rebound and stuck back. He's got 19. So Clark, 4 straight double-figure games, beat his high this season. It was 15 against Baldwin Wallace. He nearly had that at the halftime break.
Yeah, Mitch Clark showing the Muskies what they were missing last year, as he was out for most of the season last year. I mean, I believe he was out for 98% of the season. I think he played 2 or 3 games at the beginning of the year last year. And then this year he came back. He already missed a game due to injury. Yeah, 5 games played last year. And now he's coming back and showing why he could be a big threat out of Downton, Ohio.
Missed the missed the rebound rather, and then the 3 partially blocked. This is maybe a different call than a lot of folks here seem to have been anticipating. I don't think they thought that was going to go that way. It'll be the 3rd on Caleb Hoying.
And that's big though for the Muskies. I mean, Caleb Hoying, obviously, he's one of their best players, and if he gets in foul trouble, that could make it a little tough there for the Pioneers.
So Hoying, one of the 2 big guys down low, as the scoop will put Page at the line. Terrific career at Vandalia Butler High School. They play there at the Student Activity Center, and it is a big building. They host a lot of big games in for high school, and he's a guy, you look at him, not that big, 5'9", 165 as a junior, but he put up some legendary performances in that building.
Yeah, he's a transfer actually from Wittenberg. He did not play at Wittenberg his freshman year, and he's come over to Muskingum after that 1 year, and he's played 4 years here for Coach Schwab at Muskingum, and he knew.
Good, I'm not the only one that forgot it. That was at halftime.
He knew Coach Schwab before coming to Muskingum, and that was part of the reason he ended up coming to Muskingum, because Coach Schwab was an assistant at Wittenberg before he came to Muskingum, and Jalen Page came over and has been a great player for 4 years since then.
You know, it's always funny how that works out, especially at the lower levels with D3, about, all right, I know a guy, I'm more comfortable with him, he recruited me somewhere down that line, and you get the opportunity to pair back up as the 3 offline for Marietta. It just seems to work out 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back for Page, now under 10 minutes to go in the second half. A jumper knocked away and a foul. Devin Pert didn't immediately act like he thought that was a foul, but Anthony Wallace did.
And you could tell by
Mel Schuler.
This Marietta crowd is not liking some of these calls. I mean, they have been going crazy over the last couple of calls. But either way, it's up to the officials, not to the fans.
Yeah, when they make that hour trip home, they're not sending out Christmas cards. So back in for Muskingum and Aaron Gelkin. He's played big minutes.
But Pert did miss the first free throw.
But the clock stopped. You need to convert. Now 62-50. As I probably jinxed it because I said there haven't been that many missed free throws. At one point, it was 12 out of 14 on both sides. And the behind the back, almost a bailout pass. Rebounds are even now at 28 apiece. Great left-handed move all the way across for 3.
Yeah.
Did not take him long, and Kyle Dixon to knock it down.
Yeah, big 3 there for Kyle Dixon in the Pioneers, gives him 10 points on the night. So he's moving up to about his 13-point average right now.
These two teams are a lot alike in terms of numbers. The way this game has gone, I'm not sure that was the shot that Pert was looking for. Nobody is going to guard the guy straight away. He's going to continue to take those shots, is Dixon. And also Lucas Isley, the two of them have been out there. They said, come get me. 3 thuds off the rim. Easy rebound for Hoying. Mitch Clark was tied up and looking the wrong way. I think that might be one that Pert and Clark will feel like is a missed opportunity offensively. Clark again backed off, and the one thing that I've noticed throughout the course of this game, Mike, is these are not guys for Marietta that you really on either side, but Marietta shooters inside, you back off of them or you look away or, check out what the popcorn looks like in the front row. They're going to try to make you pay with their jumpers.
Yeah, I mean, they really have been. And it's kind of been going one way or the other, honestly. But, yeah, so Hoying's been able to get in there. He's sent to the free throw line now. But the thing for the Pioneers that they've been doing better than the Muskies that have really been giving them the advantage of this game, or at least it feels that way, is the three-point shooting. I mean, they've been making a lot of threes right now. They are sitting at 9 of 24, as the Fighting Muskies are only sitting at 6 of 22. And you look at it at halftime, the Muskies were sitting at 4 of 12. So that means they are 2 for 10 so far in this second half. Then you look at the Pioneers, they've made 4 so far in the second half. So they're starting to make threes. The Muskies aren't making threes. That shows why there's a 17-point lead for the Pioneers.
Some kind of interesting the way that it breaks down for Marietta, too. There's only been one team so far that has held them to shooting less than 40%. They were able to hold on to that and get that win. But right now, if you're Marietta, you're not feeling real comfortable. Despite you're up 17, yes, but you're not shooting that great, just about 42%.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, this team averages 91 points per game. That's definitely not been the case so far today, as they're probably going to be on pace to have their lowest point total of the season. And we'll see if that ends up being true, but the Muskies aren't going away, that's for sure.
Krieger with the back down on the miss, and then the cleanup.
Their lowest point total of the season so far has been 82 points, as that was at John Carroll on December 1st. They're sitting at 67 right now with 7.5 minutes left to go. So it's going to be threatening it, although they are still up by 15 points.
There is that. Free
So
throw.
I think Coach Vanderwall will take that any day of the week.
I'll say he'll take it, but you know how coaches are with specific numbers. They're not going to be all that happy about it.
Yeah.
Free throw up and good, makes it 68-52. Second free throw, rips the net. You can hear that as well. So Mike Hall goes 2 for 2. Comes in just 5 of 8 on the year. He's a terrific specimen, 6'6", 190 as a junior out of Belpre, Ohio, and he's a 1,000-point scorer at Warren High School as Krieger just makes the backboard shake. Didn't get the block. 3 guys got the block on the other side. Problem is, one of them got the foul.
Yep, and that foul does go on Jason Peoples. That's going to send the Pioneers to the line once again as they are in the bonus.
We'll continue as Mason Leidick. Leidick will now take the shot. It's another great shot of the young man. He's doing a good job of mopping the floor as soon as anybody hits it. Got a lot of bodies that time. It's a good thing he's got a big brush.
Yeah, for sure.
So now 70-54 on the made free throw. Mason Leidick. There's a story out there about him I find fascinating. His dad talks about how he's a terrific 3-sport athlete growing up. And he said, you know the story about how your dad will underhand you balls when you're little trying to get you to swing? Now, his dad tells the story that he was such a good athlete as that is a 3 from downtown New Concord that rolls out of the way. He was having to throw overhand to him because he was batting so many balls, and it was the only way he could get a chance to actually not have him put balls in the neighbor's yard.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty funny, though. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's usually doesn't come that easy, especially in a sport like baseball, that it's just going to be that easy to where you can just go overhand right away. But obviously, he's been able to take basketball and turn it into a good career here at Marietta.
He also ended up, his high school football coach came to him and said, hey, we need a quarterback. He said, that's fine, I'll try it. We'll see how this goes. His dad says you give him a ping pong paddle, he'd probably be pretty good at that too. His dad actually played basketball at Cuyahoga Falls High School where he went, ended up playing at Mount Union. That's also pretty good. They just made another championship. But as the quarterback for Leidick, his first year, they go 9-2. He throws for 2,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, 5 picks. They end up going 31-4 with him as a starter. Again, as I'm told the story, Mason Leidick can do a lot of things well, and he's got his team up to a 71-54 lead.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting right now in his freshman season. He's sitting at 4.2 points a game, but he does have 9 points tonight, and it's really been a balanced effort for this Marietta team. I mean, you look up right now, three of the 5 guys in have one has 14 points, and then you have Keith Richards sitting at 8 points, Mason Leidick sitting at 9 points. So
Hoying's got 9, Dixon's got 10, Wallace has got 10.
Yeah, I mean, you just got a lot of guys, and that was one of the things we talked about in the pregame was they are just able to move the ball around, and that's exactly what they've been doing today. And they're showing you why they're the number 18 team in the country tonight.
And they're able to get a little bit of luck at times too. Krieger's had a couple of balls that have bounced luckily to him in the post as he works now on Clark in the low block. Oh, and it's one of those controversial plays. Do you believe that Krieger, now who has 4 points, muscled Clark to the ground, or that Clark flopped?
Yeah, you don't know.
Depends on which side of the building you're sitting on. Clark's going to try the same thing, see if he tries to muscle in on Krieger. Turn around right hand, that little baby hook shot won't fall. He's gone to the well with that a couple of times. Had it once left-handed in the first half. Is a great drop to Krieger. Now he's got back-to-back points. Says his favorite players, I never would have picked this in the world. John Stockton and Kyrie Irving for Tim Krieger. 6'7" post.
Yeah, you don't really look at that. I mean, those are 2 guys that can make some flashy plays with the basketball, and I'm sure Tim Krieger can as well, but probably not quite as flashy as those 2.
Smith with a nice stop and go, missed a shot. Tyler Bartle able there to clean it up, and the sophomore with 2 points.
And you're also not going to see Tim Krieger set any all-time steals records at Marietta either.
He's got 6 straight points now for his team. He's up to 8. Now, he had quite a few at Delphos St. John's, but they came kind of as a result of blocks or just redirected balls with his length.
As I do look at it, though, he has 11 steals on the season so far. He doesn't have any today, to my knowledge. But
he hasn't needed them, really.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see that his two favorite players are two guys that are nowhere near 6'7".
They would love to be 6'7". A lot of people think they're probably 5'7".
Hey,
Krieger is listed with no steals yet.
Yeah, John Stockton's a Hall of Famer, though. Kyrie Irving's well on his way, too.
I think you have to watch how you discuss Kyrie Irving in the greater Cleveland area. Still a lot of folks not happy about that.
No.
5:25 to go in the second half as Page gets into double figures with 11. Trust me, I spent a lot of time in Cleveland. They're still not thrilled about that.
Especially now that they lost LeBron as well.
You can't use that name up there. Krieger down to the baseline. Somehow was able to get himself back out. Everybody just sort of went the opposite way. And if you didn't do it the first time, try it again. Ellis offline. Not many times you can say that Jason Ellis has missed back-to-back threes.
Yeah, Jason Ellis sitting with 14 points. I believe he was sitting with 14 points at the end of the first half. No, he's with one point so far in the second half, but you haven't heard his name too much in this second half. But that was one thing we've been saying is we haven't needed to. I mean, they're up by 19 points with five minutes left to go, and they are well on their way to their 10th victory of the year and their 5th victory in the OAC.
Krieger came in at 13 of 17 from the line. Knocks down his first. Now 9 points to go along with his 3 rebounds and an assist. As much as we've talked about points being balanced, the assists are really balanced too, because there are 5 or 6 different guys who have 2 or 3 assists, and that's what the right hand don't get you, the left one will, so to speak, as the old saying goes. And a beautiful pass underneath, but I don't know, again, that's a kind of one where if you're Page, you got caught looking to see if you're going to draw a foul. He's just a bit offline, changed his idea of what he wanted to do at the end as he crossed over in the travel on Richardson.
Well, I think they're going to pass their lowest point total of the season. They're sitting at 79 right now. They have plenty of time to put up 4 points, and honestly, they might get to that 91-point mark as they're only 12 away.
Out to Clark, his 3 ball on the way. No good. Nearly the tip by Devin Pert, but a foul. Stops play at 4:23. Looking at John Vanderwall, the 3-time coach of the year for Marietta. He had a jacket on earlier. He's now since ditched it, as it's a cool shot of where he's standing at in front of his own bench. He's got 5 players almost in the flying V waiting to go in. Well, there's the entire line change. But he passed Phil Roach as Marietta's winningest coach in school history just a couple of games ago, beating LaRoche back on the 16th of November for his 214th win. He's really kind of resurrected this program, was a standout himself at Albion College in Michigan, from the aptly named Cadillac, Michigan. And he could get out and get it himself. These are 2 guys. I'd love to see a game of 1-on-1 between the 2 coaches.
Yeah.
They've both done some terrific things, as the shot clock has not been an issue throughout this whole game. Teams have just continued to shoot freely as fouls continue to mount up. Dixon will go back to the line.
Yeah, and you can tell the frustration has obviously set in at this point for the Fighting Muskies. It's just been, I don't know. I mean, it's not that nothing has gone their way, but it's just they haven't been able to consistently put things together, and that shows you why the score is what it is. But I mean, you look at the first half, I mean, they go only down by 4 points, and they're feeling good about themselves. But then the second half just hasn't gone their way. But I would say at the end of the day, it's still a great learning experience for these young players, and also I would say a great measuring stick for this team as well without Marcus Dempsey.
And talking about Dempsey, it's been 3 years now since these 2 teams have played without him. Talked about how he's averaging 21 points a game in his 4 meetings, but it's a little deeper than that. Last year, Marietta winning 104-86 at home. He has 31 points in that game. The game here last year, a 107-100 win in overtime. Now he just ends up with 42. But
Yeah.
it's missing in being able to find that firepower, not just tonight, but on a big basis going forward.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, like you said, the Fighting Muskies, I would say Waynesburg, they're going in to play Waynesburg as their next game. They're on the road at Waynesburg. I would say that is a very winnable game for them, but then if you look at it, like you were saying, their next two conference matchups are going to be coming against the Ohio Northern Polar Bears and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Mount Union's only sitting at, 5-0 in the conference, 9-1 overall. So obviously that's going to be a tough game. And I already mentioned how the Polar Bears, I would say, are not playing up to as good as they probably can.
Nice crossover and a step back, but unable to finish. You got to wonder if maybe Jalen Page, he plays 30 minutes a game, but maybe his legs are a little bit tired right now because he's playing the same amount of minutes, but he's having to chase around these guards a lot more, I think, than he's used to. It's a 3-ball straight away and good for Anthony Wallace.
I would say it's a stressful 30 minutes. might not be any different, but it's a hard 30 minutes, if that makes any sense. But timeout for the Muskies. But yeah, so it's just been a tough game for the Muskies. Looking good early. Like we said, halftime it was sitting at 34-30 in favor of the Pioneers, but now it is 85-59 in favor of the Pioneers. And the Muskies, I don't know, just have not played well in the second half, and the turnovers and the missed shots, they've just come back to get them.
You get a big look at how the second half has taken shape with Marietta in these replays. It's interesting to me because you get Coach Vanderwall in his 12th year. We talked about how well he's done, but really they weren't a power being Marietta before. 32-96 in the 5 years before that, but since 2010, 162-41 over a 7-year period. It's something obviously that every school is trying to build right now in the OAC.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, you can't beat a Sweet 16, an Elite 8, and another Sweet 16 for Coach Vanderwall. Obviously, he's looking to win a national championship, as all coaches in the country are. But I would not be surprised to see this Marietta Pioneer squad looking for a national championship. Close to a national championship, if not this year, but a few years in the future.
They'll get their OAC run back in shape after the new year, but they'll spend their holidays in the Phoenix area as Aaron Gelkin puts a shot up and in. They'll go to play in the D3 Desert Invitational in Phoenix on the 28th and the 29th. For going to Heidelberg, home for Capital at ONU, and home for Mount in a 4-game span in 2019. Trying to stay hot from deep. That shot from way downtown for Austin Rutecki as we get the 3-minute subsets and a foul. Kyle Matazika, I think, is who picked it up. 85-61. We just showed you in that highlight package that this is pretty much gone the second half. Remember, this was a close game at one point, and way back, the Muskies actually led for a good portion until, like you said, a 91 point per game team is going to show up at some point. It's how do you keep them cold enough to not have that happen in the first half.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Pioneers have put up 51 points so far in the second half, and they still have 2 minutes and 37 seconds to put up more points. And for the Muskies, they put up 33, but that has been nowhere near enough to be able to hang with this Marietta team in the second half.
Cameron Miller, a 6'7" junior out of Garraway High School, with a pair of free throws. Down to 225 is Christian James out of Springboro High School, has his pocket picked. And it's another one. James and Springboro High School go pretty much hand in hand. There's I believe it's his cousin. I'd have to double check this. But Chip James is one of the all-time leading scorers in Springboro High School history. Christian James was pretty good himself, as he's now in there trying to chase a couple of different guards. Shot from the elbow, up and good for Trey Singleton, the freshman. You hear that one. You know you get a good return. You hit it and it just falls in. So James into the game now with a basketball. Looks left and throws up a bullet. That'll be out of bounds despite the attempted save from a teammate.
I would say if you're Coach Vanderwall and the Pioneers, might have not been the prettiest first half, but he's got to be happy with how his team responded in the second half, because obviously it could have gone the other way around. I mean, they could have played awful here in the second half and given the Muskies the chance to win, but they showed why they were so well thought of in the country and showed that in the second half.
Lefty shot off the glass, no good for Micah Keith out of Dover High School.
Yeah, Micah Keith's another guy with an interesting story. He played his freshman year, didn't really play much at all. I actually don't believe he got into any games. Sophomore year, he did not play at all. He just decided not to play. Comes back last year and had a big role at the end of the season. And he's really shown Coach Schwab that although he might not be the biggest scoring threat and might not play all the time, he's a good role player, good guy to have on the team.
Ryan Reedy playing a pick and roll game with James as he knocks down the jumper. Christian at 4 points a game in 13 minutes this year. Won a couple of GWalk championships for a very good Springboro Panthers team, as they're a perennial regional pick, and he's a big reason why. Down to the final 45 seconds of an 87-65 game. Again, interesting at times and an offensive explosion at other times. As Cam Miller on the back down puts one up and in. He's a big guy. I read he's taking a lot more threes than I think I would have expected too throughout the course of the year. He's taking 8 now as a back down and the flat-footed block. So Miller's making the most out of his moments.
Yeah, Miller's had some good moments so far in this year. Obviously, he hasn't played till this point in the game. Yeah, I mean, he can go back and make a 3. He's been pretty solid for the Muskies, but he's still been trying to find minutes.
Just waiting there on the block, Carson Carter. Or, sorry, the other way around, Kyle Matsuzika with the block, and James will run out the clock of an 89-67 victory to put Marietta now at 10-0 on the year.
Yeah, so tough game for the Muskies. I mean, you end up losing by 22. Obviously, that's going to move them to 4-5 overall. That's going to move them to 1-4 in the OAC, which that 1-4 mark is something that is not going to make Coach Schwab happy. And then obviously got Marietta sitting on the other end of the spectrum, sitting at 10-0, 5-0 in the conference, and I don't know.
So the final second half numbers coming up here in just a few. A lot of standout performers, 4 players in double figures. Jason Ellitz, Anthony Wallace, Kyle Dixon, and Tim Krieger of an 89-67 win. Take a break when we're back here inside the home of the Fighting Muskies on NKT.TV.
Have you heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Have you heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
Back here at Muskingum, it is an 89-67 win for Marietta as they get to 10-0 on the season. The Muskingum Fighting Muskies dropped to 4-5 on the year, the 168th meeting between these two, and it was interesting early on as both teams traded baskets back and forth. It was 34-30 Marietta at the half, but a 55-point second half leading it to the win for Marietta. And it didn't seem like at times, Mike, that they would put up a lot of points in bunches, but if you look at the stats like you see on the screen right now, 71 field goals is a lot.
Yeah, and Marietta, like you were saying, it didn't really feel, at least for me, it didn't really feel like Marietta was really stretching the lead out that much, but then you go back and look at it, and they obviously did. I mean, they put up 89 points, and that 91-point mark was what we were talking about all game long. 91 points is their average, 91 points is their average, and they just about hit it, 89 points. I would say a big thing for the Muskies tonight was turnovers. They kept losing the ball. I mean, Marietta had 11 steals. I mean, that is a lot of steals for one team in a game, and it just kind of shows that obviously Muskingum is just not quite there yet to be able to compete with a team like Marietta. I mean, Marietta is obviously 10-0 right now. Now they're 10-0, number 8 in the country, and I don't know. It's just I would say just little things were the things that's really bit Muskingum in the butt tonight.
And you get a lot of the look at those here in this replay set, but there were a couple of numbers for me that weren't on that board. Bench points, 47-25 in favor of Marietta, and it really speaks to what I talked about early in the second half about their depth. Not a lot of teams are going to be able to come at you 5 by 5 and have the 5 guys coming off the bench that are going to be the same and not have kind of a letdown or any kind of lull as the 5 guys who came out. We saw that, Mike, early in the first half where the first 5 guys were having great defense played on them. They were getting frustrated, didn't have a lot of shots fall. The guys in front of them said, all right, fine, we'll come off the bench, we'll get it done.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. Like we were talking about, just the depth. I mean, they just have a ton of depth. One guy that had a good day today that might not always be the best scorer on the team is Jason Ellis. I mean, he ends up with 14 points on the night. He's averaging about 10 points a game, so he gets above his average, and he plays well. Anthony Walls puts up 13 points. Kyle Dixon puts up 11 points. Tim Krieger puts up 9 points. Mason Leidick and Caleb Hoying put up 9 points, and that was one of the big things we were talking about before the game is how Marietta they just give the ball to everybody. Everybody scores on this team. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're the first guy on the bench coming off or if you're the last guy on the bench coming off. They have guys that just score points in bunches, and that just shows you why they are such a good team, is they're just able to pass the ball and give everybody a chance to score.
You get to see, obviously, with Marietta a lot coming in here, how good they are. They'll play again later on this season. But for Muskingum right now, they go in, you talked about it, a winnable game against Waynesburg on Saturday. From your perspective tonight, is Mitch Clark going to be that guy?
I think he has to be. I mean, I think whether he wants to be or not, he has to be. I mean, he puts up 19 points, and he goes 7 of 14 from just field goals in general, and he's been really, really good. I mean, he's played very well. Jalen Page was another guy I was talking about before the game that needed to play well. He had 11 points. So, I don't know. I would say Mitch Clark's time has come to be the guy for Muskingum basketball, especially if Marcus Dempsey is indeed out for the rest of the season, which honestly it looks like he's probably going to be. So, Mitch Clark, we'll see if he can keep it going, but a good start tonight. I mean, 19 points, he had 7 rebounds, almost puts up a double-double, and we'll see how he can do in the future.
So a lot of balance for Marietta as they have 4 players in double figures and nearly 3 more guys who reach that plateau. We've had a lot of interesting games back and forth. I did not think necessarily, despite knowing about the pace, that we were going to see 130 shots go in the air between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't. Yeah, like you were saying, it didn't really feel like that. I mean, it was a quick game, though. I mean, on all honesty, I mean, it's about 9 o'clock right now. I mean, the game was well under 2 hours. I mean, it was a very quick game. Just was up and down the court, not a lot of fouls called, but it did get a little sloppy there at the end of the game as Muskingum continued to turn the ball a little bit too much over. But, yeah, so tough game for Muskingum. Good learning process for them as they're going to continue to learn how to play without their star, Marcus Dempsey. But for Marietta, the vibe keeps going.
So the second of our 8 OAC games of the week. The next one will come your way on January the 9th from Wilmington, as it'll be Otterbein at Wilmington. It'll be women's action, but we are done here, as it's an 89-67 win for Marietta. And for all the guys in the truck, for Michael Pagano and Mike Hearn, have a great night and a happy holidays from all of us here at NKT.TV.